Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be the warm welcome to all participants in the 2014 Bank of Korea International Conference. I wish to thank Professor Robert Barrow, ER's Chief Economist Hyun-Sung Shin, and IMF Director Jang Yong Lee, who will deliver the conference keynote speeches, and all of our moderators, speakers, and discussants. Let me also voice my deep gratitude to Professors Thomas Sargent and Barry Eichengreen for serving as the conference advisors. In recent months, the world economy seems to have thrown off the shock of the global finance crisis and stands now at a turning point as it enters a new phase. Our gathering here to discuss the challenges and explore the policy options involved in sustaining world economic growth is hence both timely and meaningful. Today, I will briefly note some growth-related issues that have important implications for the central bank, and then speak about the central bank's role in achieving sustainable growth. Before this, I would like to start with touching on recent shifts in the world economy. Lately, we have recognized the weakening of growth momentums of the emerging market economies that served as the engine of world economic growth following the crisis, while advanced economies, in contrast, appear to be gradually recovering. It is, of course, a change for the better that advanced countries where the crisis started are now showing trends of recovery. That said, concerns still remain about the possibility of financial unrest and slowing growth in emerging market economies in the normalization process of advanced economy monetary policies. Moreover, there are new potential risks emerging associated with the slowing of Chinese growth and with the mounting risk of deflation in the Eurozone with a high sovereign debt. Against such heightened uncertainty that still overshadows the path of world economic growth, efforts by individual countries and international cooperation to sustain the growth momentum are urgently called for. As the world economy has begun to recover to some extent from the aftershocks of the crisis, it is a high time that we seek solutions to the more fundamental problems that could stand in the way of sustainable growth. In this vein, I feel strongly that the discussion topics at this conference, such as population aging, the global imbalances, and the identification of new sources of growth, need to be looked at with great interest from the central bank standpoint. Despite the differences among countries, population aging is proceeding at a rapid pace around the world, embracing both advanced and some emerging market economies. Population aging will likely weaken the growth potential through the reduced share of the economically active population, languid investment, and the erosion of fiscal soundness. Demographic changes will also induce capital movement through shifts in the relative prices of production factors. To develop policy options to moderate the probably adverse influences of population aging, we need deep analysis not only from a long-term perspective, but also in the context of interactions among economic sectors and among countries. As we all know, the global financial crisis is rooted in the global imbalances built up over a long period of time. Even so, the flip side of the coin is associated with the domestic imbalances of individual countries. For example, between savings and investment, and between export and domestic demand. With these imbalances accumulated at both the individual country and the global levels, financial sectors evolved rapidly in the absence of safety controls over systemic risks. The consequence was the global financial crisis. It follows, therefore, that in order to resolve the global imbalances, we must keep up our efforts for structural reform at the individual country level while coupling this with international cooperation for policy harmonization. Since the global financial crisis, there has been a considerable slowdown in growth in advanced countries. This trend is likely to persist in the future unless new sources of growth can be found. Also, emerging market economies with success in industrialization will lead to shift from their traditional reliance on factory inputs in growth strategies to their advancement of industrial structures through technological innovation. Accordingly, they will lead to devote efforts to overhauling their economic practices and regulations for supporting technological innovation, and to enhancing financial intermediation for better allocation of financial resources to innovative sectors. I would like to round off my remarks by mentioning the central bank's role. After having gone through the financial crisis, the general public has elevated expectations now for the proactive role of the central bank, not just in pursuing its primary mandate of price stability, but also for financial stability and sustainable growth. In particular, the global financial crisis has once again underlined that sustainable growth cannot be ensured without financial stability. In most major countries, the central bank has accordingly become an integral part of their macroprudential policy frameworks. Even so, there is a great deal of future research that will have to be undertaken concerning the policy framework and instruments needed for central banks to embrace multiple objectives in a harmonious way. Ladies and gentlemen, some 6 years have already passed since the global financial crisis broke out, and the world economy now appears to be slowly regaining its growth momentum. It is very important, therefore, to ensure that this continues and evolves into a sustainable and robust trend. For this purpose, it is vital that the central banks of major countries work to bring about seamless normalization of their monetary policies. In parallel with this, individual countries must continue to pursue structural reforms to lay a strong foundation for sustainable growth. I believe that the conference here will serve as a forum for constructive discussions from both theoretical and policy perspectives on a wide range of issues related to invigorating the world economic growth potential. I look forward to valuable insights from participants today and tomorrow based on your great wisdom and experience. Thank you.